हेलो एंड वेलकम बैक। ब्रेक थोड़ा सा लंबा हो गया। लास्ट वीकली राउंड अप हम कर नहीं पाए थे एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर बहुत सारे हमारे व्यूअर्स को ये बात पता भी लग गई होगी। थोड़ा सा इशू आ गया था एंड हेल्थ इशू था और एट द वेरी फेस ऑफ इट बड़ा लगा था, बट देन बाद में रियलाइज हुआ कि हाँ इशू थोड़ा सा था बट इतना सीवियर नहीं था जितना हम सोच रहे थे। आई एम प्रीटी श्योर जितने भी हमारे व्यूअर्स हैं जो हमको और चैनल्स पे फॉलो करते हैं उनको सारा फीडबैक होगा ही। तो चलिए उस बात को हम अभी यहाँ पे ज़्यादा लंबा डिस्कस नहीं करते हैं क्योंकि गैप हो गया है बहुत बड़ा। 2 वीक का हमें कवरेज भी लेना होगा और समझने के लिए अभी देखना होगा कि नेक्स्ट वीक क्या क्या होने वाला है। तो विदाउट वेस्टिंग मच ऑफ टाइम लेट्स ब्रिंग AK इन।
So basically, what happened was, the world was reeling from the tension in the Middle East, where Israel and Iran were at each other's neck. And if you remember, sometime around Friday or Saturday, Donald Trump announced that a ceasefire is, issued, or a ceasefire has been agreed upon. Now there have been a lot of back and forth statements by these countries that we have not agreed to a ceasefire, but we are not going to attack until we are attacked. So that is in effect saying that it is a ceasefire, because if the both sides have agreed to not attack initially, not attack first, then it becomes like a truce. So I think the markets were happy about this fact only, and this was exactly the reading from the whole ceasefire thing. So अगर आप देखें तो last week में Monday, Tuesday we saw a very nice big rally, and the whole positive impact of this. But at the end of day 3, when this good news and its impact fizzled out, what we saw is that this rally had put the Nifty all the way up to 25,640 or something, that the high it made before it started correcting towards the expiry day and uh, the weekend. Okay,
Right.
again, with this volatility, this sort of geopolitical uncertainty, nobody wants to end the week with a heavy position. So there might have been a lot of short covering, which had put the Nifty back to that 25, 650, 640 mark. And suddenly towards the expiry and the weekend, we saw it mellow down a little. Okay. Now coming to this week, we can see the Nifty chart being very, very range bound. Like Rachit, if you remember, हम पिछले काफी टाइम से जो बात कर रहे थे, मैं एक 500 पॉइंट की रेंज की आपको बात कर रहा था, और हर वीक ऑन वीक मैं आपको यही बोल रहा था कि कोई ट्रिगर नहीं है, तो इस रेंज के बाहर नहीं जाना चाहिए. We were talking about 24,600 to 25,100, 150. Okay. 2 वीक पहले 25,150 से ब्रेकआउट दे दिया निफ्टी ने. Okay. I'd also mentioned that अगर ये breakout होता है तो we are looking at a top of 25,800. Right. So अब 150 से breakout दे चुका है, 2 वीक पहले breakout दिया है. Since then we have not gone down below that level. 25,150 breach नहीं किया.
Right.
ना intraday किया है, ना closing basis किया है. So that is one very good thing. Second thing is that after the whole celebration mode, after the whole after they went into a ceasefire and the whole celebration mode, which lasted for 2-3 trading sessions, after that settled down, we have settled down, but we have not gone below a certain level. In fact, अगर आप देखें तो पिछले 2 वीक का चार्ट मेरे सामने है, हाई 25,645 के आसपास बनाया है, एंड उसके बाद इट हैज गॉन डाउन टू लोएस्ट 25,348, which is today, and that is also intraday.
Right. We closed way above.
हाँ, क्लोज तो आज का क्लोज इनफैक्ट 25,461 हुआ है, the way it had shot after 230, it clearly shows the strength. Uh, I'll come back to that. But but I'm sitting here and watching the whole chart. Last week, जब around Wednesday या Thursday इन्होंने हाई बनाया था 25,645 का, तब से अभी तक it has barely fallen down. And the chart is showing 25,380 to be a very, very crucial support level now.
Right.
So, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days, I have seen the market touch 380, even break below it intraday and gone up.
Okay.
So, so this is proving to be a strong support level. Okay. प्लस गोइंग फॉरवर्ड मेरे को अभी भी लगता है कि ऑन द अपसाइड 25,800 इज इन द ऑफिंग आ सकता है. बट
ठीक है.
ये जो रैली हमने देखी ऑन बैकिंग ऑफ गुड न्यूज ऑन दैट ट्रिगर, वो 650 के आसपास खत्म हो गई, उसकी फीस खत्म हो गई. तो वी विल नीड समथिंग बिगर, मे बी इफ नॉट बिगर, वी विल नीड समथिंग मोर continuous to indicate so that we move towards 25,800.
So in that case, does it really matter that the market is also in this particular phase of consolidation, because everybody is waiting for 9th of July to pass, and something
Right.
on this.
Right. So this also brings me to the next week, Rachit. So next week में क्या हो रहा है? बहुत ज़्यादा, जो मैं इतने टाइम से आपको बोल रहा हूँ कि मार्केट में ट्रिगर नहीं है. Next week I am seeing a lot of triggers. Okay. Next week is, in fact, for 9th of July is right now something that everybody is watching at, having a close look at. क्योंकि ये जो यूएस की ट्रेड पॉलिसी है, इस पे काफी कुछ डिपेंड करेगा with for the manufacturing sectors.
Also, the results season will start from the next week.
Of course. Results are also there, and some sort of early indication is started coming in. I was reading about Dabur, the expectation and indicator. It is not looking very, their quarter one growth rate is said to be in the lower one digit space. Okay. Growth rate. So it's not looking very, very nice. I'm not very hopeful, at least from what I read. I have not read a lot about the banking or the IT or the auto sector, but this is FMCG we are talking about. Also, in the next week, all these results will start pouring in. So we will actually have real numbers to see that where we are in line or not in line. अब if you remember last quarter, तो आपने देख लिया था कि एक लो एक्सपेक्टेशन क्रिएट कर दी गई थी already.
And there was a mixed bag result coming in.
The results actually met those lower expectations, or in some cases even failed those lower expectations. Okay, so अगर आप देखें तो मार्च से बाजार ऊपर ही गया है. तो उसका इम्पैक्ट देखा. अब जून में क्या होगा, प्लस 9th of July में क्या होता है, एग्जैक्टली क्या होता है, बिकॉज there is a whole lot of speculation that is going on about Donald Trump being insistent on agri products and the tariffs on agri products and food products, and he has been wanting to get his genetically modified and that whole sort of gamut of hybrid food articles to India, and India being a very, very strong agriculture being a very, very strong having a political angle to it, so I don't see India budging on this. I don't see any government will take a chance on, keeping that sector of people angry. So if they allow for that the cheap American, make it cheaper, the imported stuff make it cheaper, I don't think this is a sector where India wants to tinker around a lot, because this does have a political angle to it. It's not
Right.
just manufacturing; it's agriculture, which has been the core essence of this economy. So
Right.
I don't see that happening. So there is one that clash is definitely there. That clash is not going to, if both the countries are not budging or not meeting at a midpoint at least. I don't see this deal being signed up on 9th July. Maybe there is a big chance that India might get an extension. That is a big possibility. Okay, in
Okay.
that case, again, then then again a fresh rally might come in, just on the basis that what, एक महीना 2 महीना 3 महीना जितना भी extension होता है कि eventually the sky is falling but it's not falling today, वो वाला हिसाब है. तो
Okay.
तो वो हो सकता है. So there are, so like I said, this eventually इस पे होगा क्या, उस पे बहुत कुछ डिपेंड करता है how next week is going to pan out. But it will require some seriously strong triggers to either go up all the way up to 25,800 or break down below 25,300.
Break down below 25,300.
300, 380, 380 is my level, but any bad news can trigger a fall because we are dangerously close to 380. We are not even 100 points above 380. So, if we are closing at 25,461, any bad news over the weekend can trigger a Monday gap down, 100, 200 point down, and it can go down. That is known, but I believe 25, 300 will be a prudent support, uh,
Okay.
prudent idea to keep in mind that ये level के नीचे sustain करना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा. एक खराब ट्रिगर भी आता है, 25,300 के आसपास मार्केट हो जाके बाउंस कर सकता है. This is a very very high possibility.
Okay, so that means that the next week will be a happening week, and most probably what happens on 9th and post 9th, how do we get the numbers and what sense and post the numbers, what are the directions that the management is giving us would give the direction to the market. People like people like me would always prefer everything being very rosy and Donald Trump saying to Modi ji कि हाँ हाँ ठीक है आप मान गए हम भी मान गए, let it be and just take it ahead. And also on the same lines that the numbers should be comfortable enough so the market to cruise ahead. And but that is something that we can only have as a wishful thinking. Let's see how it pans out to be like. And
Rachit, to give you an example, the US, sorry, the UK India FTA, which was recently signed, uh, I don't know if you're aware, it took about a year and a half of
right,
negotiations to reach to that. And
right.
here we are sitting with a 90-day deadline to execute this, otherwise hell will break loose. तो मतलब आप समझ रहे हो क्या प्रेशर है.
हाँ.
So then it makes and under pressure you tend to make wrong choices.
Mistakes
So
are
correct. So it's very evident that every country will try to put in their best stand, and not try to do something that will inherently damage its own system, its own economic system. So इसीलिए I will not be able to give you a very confident call on where this is going. If in all probability we might take an extension, because even it is not the best interest of US to have
right.
India on the high tariff list, because because there is a lot of trade.
So the possibility of extension still is there
I would
on
not
the
rule it
card.
out. I would not rule it out. In fact, I'll give it a high weightage. I will give that possibility a high weightage, although I have been reading that Donald Trump has been now sending out letters to various countries regarding the unilateral tariff. जिनके साथ agreement नहीं हुआ है फ्री ट्रेड, उनके साथ जिनके साथ agreement हो गया है उनके साथ
Right.
bilateral tariff है. You charge me 10%, I'll charge you 10%. खत्म काम. But
Right.
जिनके साथ agreement नहीं हुआ है, he is given a statement that he's sending out letters to those countries saying that this is our unilateral tariff to you. This is how we will operate from now.
Okay, so in that case, I believe that we just have to very closely watch as to how it pans out to be like, and then only we'll be in a better position to decide as to where the markets are heading. So,
Yeah.
chaliye, as always, it was amazing knowing and learning as to how the markets would function in the next week. And as we have seen the success rate, I am still thinking that there is a possibility that we might get an extension, and if that thing happens, the market might feel a lurch, but I think it's for the best of interest for both the countries and the market of both the countries. But let's see how it pans out to be like. As always, it was amazing talking. Have a happy weekend.
Happy weekend to you too. Bye.
Bye bye.